Imagine Mazda taking everything people love about the CX-90, stretching the luxury, sharpening the design, adding executive class comfort, and then aiming straight at premium SUVs from Lexus, Genesis, BMW, and Mercedes. That is exactly why the rumored next-generation 2027 Mazda CX-100 has suddenly become one of the most talked-about SUVs online. But here is the real question. Is this just another beautiful concept, or could this be the SUV that finally pushes Mazda into true luxury territory? Welcome back to The Car Analyst, the channel where we break down new cars, future SUVs, real ownership costs, hidden pros and cons, price comparisons, and honest buying advice without the marketing noise. Today, we are taking a deep look at the new 2027 Mazda CX-100 SUV, its expected advanced features, possible pricing, comfort level, performance direction, ownership cost, and most importantly, whether you should actually wait for it or buy something else today. At first glance, the CX-100 looks like Mazda is no longer trying to be just a near-premium brand. It looks like Mazda wants to sit at the same table as Lexus RX, Genesis GV80, Acura MDX, BMW X5, Mercedes GLE, and even some high-end three-row family SUVs. The exterior design is aggressive but still elegant. The long hood gives it that rear-wheel drive premium SUV posture. The front grille looks wider and more confident. The LED headlights are slim, the body lines are smooth, and the overall shape has that expensive, almost European feel. Mazda has always been good at emotional design, but this CX-100 concept takes that idea much further. The side profile is where things get interesting. This does not look like a basic family hauler. It has a coupe-inspired roofline, large alloy wheels, flush-looking body details, dark glass, a strong shoulder line, and a very planted stance. The burgundy paint shown in the images makes it look even more premium, almost like Mazda is trying to create its own version of a luxury flagship SUV. And honestly, this is where Mazda has an advantage. Many brands make SUVs that are practical, but very few make SUVs that feel emotional before you even drive them. Mazda understands design drama, and the CX-100 appears to lean heavily into that. But the real shock is inside. The cabin looks like a major step above the current Mazda interiors. We are talking about deep burgundy leather, quilted seat patterns, wide digital screens, rear entertainment displays, ambient lighting, a panoramic glass roof, high-end wood-style trim, metallic speaker grills, and a lounge-like rear seating setup. If Mazda actually delivers something close to this, the CX-100 will not just be a bigger CX-90. It will be Mazda's statement that comfort, craftsmanship, and technology can exist without charging German luxury money. Let's talk about the facilities and features buyers would expect. A future CX-100 would likely need a fully digital driver display, a wide infotainment screen, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, Google-based services or built-in connected navigation, over-the-air updates, a premium Bose or next-generation audio system, ventilated and heated seats, massaging front seats, heated second-row seats, power reclining rear seats, multi-zone climate control, wireless charging, multiple USB-C ports, panoramic sunroof, hands-free power tailgate, soft closed doors, and advanced sound insulation. If Mazda wants this SUV to compete seriously, it cannot just look luxurious. It has to feel luxurious every single day. The rear seat experience could become one of the biggest selling points. In the images, the rear cabin feels almost like an executive lounge. Rear screens, a wide center console, separate climate controls, premium leather, and soft ambient lighting all suggest Mazda may be targeting families who want comfort, but also business-class luxury. This could appeal to buyers who want a luxury SUV but do not want the badge pressure or maintenance cost of a German vehicle. For long road trips, airport runs, family travel, and even chauffeur-style use, this type of interior could make the CX-100 very attractive. Now let's discuss performance. Mazda's current premium SUVs already use a turbocharged inline-six engine in some markets, and that engine fits Mazda's new rear-biased premium platform philosophy. For the CX-100, the most realistic expectation would be a 3.3-liter turbocharged inline-six with mild hybrid support, possibly producing somewhere around 340 horsepower in higher trims. A plug-in hybrid version would also make sense, especially because luxury SUV buyers now want power and efficiency together. A full hybrid or PHEV CX100 could give buyers strong acceleration, better fuel economy, and short-distance electric driving for city use. If Mazda wants to make the CX100 special, it needs to focus on driving feel. Mazda has always been known for steering, balance, and driver connection. Even in an SUV, Mazda tries to make the vehicle feel smaller and more controlled than its size suggests. That is why the CX100 could be more enjoyable than many comfort-first competitors. But there is a risk here. If Mazda makes it too sporty, the ride may feel firm. If Mazda makes it too soft, it may lose the brand's personality. The ideal CX100 should feel quiet, stable, powerful, and refined, but still have that Mazda confidence when the road turns. Now let's talk price, because this is where the CX100 needs to be very careful. The current Mazda CX-90 starts around the high $30,000 range in the US, while upper trims move close to luxury territory. The CX-70 also starts above $40,000. If the CX-100 becomes a true flagship, a realistic estimated starting price could land around $48,000 to $55,000. with top trims possibly reaching $65,000 to $72,000 depending on powertrain and equipment. That would place it below many German luxury SUVs, but above typical mainstream three-row SUVs. Compared with rivals, that pricing could be smart. A Lexus RX Hybrid or TX can become expensive quickly. A Genesis GV80 feels very premium, but also sits in a higher price class once fully loaded. A BMW X5 or Mercedes GLE can easily move far beyond $75,000 with option. So if Mazda brings the CX-100 with real luxury materials, strong performance, advanced safety, and a high-end cabin at a slightly lower price, it could become a serious value play. Not cheap, but smart luxury. Ownership cost is where Mazda could win. German SUVs often bring expensive maintenance, costly repairs, premium tires, expensive brake jobs, and complicated long-term ownership. Mazda usually has a reputation for more reasonable maintenance costs compared with many luxury brands. For a CX-100, buyers should still expect higher costs than a CX-5 or CX-50, because this would be a bigger, more powerful, more complex SUV. Tires could be expensive, especially with large wheels. Premium fuel may be recommended for the best performance. Insurance will likely be higher than smaller Mazda SUVs. Hybrid or plug-in hybrid systems may reduce fuel cost, but they also add complexity. A reasonable ownership estimate would be this. If you buy a base or mid-trim gasoline CX-100, annual running costs may stay lower than a German rival but higher than a regular family SUV. If you choose the top trim with huge wheels, premium interior, turbo power, and every technology option, ownership cost will rise. My human opinion is simple. The CX-100 would make the most financial sense in a well-equipped mid-trim, not the most expensive version. That is usually where Mazda delivers the best balance of luxury, value, and reliability. Now let's be honest about the pros. The first major pro is design. The CX-100 looks emotional, premium, and different from the typical boxy family SUV. The second pro is interior quality. If the final model matches the concept direction, this could be one of Mazda's best cabins ever. The third pro is expected driving feel. Mazda usually does steering and chassis tuning better than most mainstream brands. The fourth pro is value. If Mazda prices it below German luxury SUVs while offering similar comfort and technology, it could attract smart buyers. The fifth pro is brand trust. Mazda buyers often like the mix of reliability, style, and driver-focused engineering. But there are also cons, and this is where buyers need to pay attention. The first con is uncertainty. Until Mazda confirms final specifications, pricing, engine options, and release timing, everything should be treated carefully. The second con is brand perception. Mazda may build a luxury-level SUV, but some buyers spending $60,000 or more still want a luxury badge. The third con could be space. Mazda designs are beautiful, but sometimes style affects rear seat or cargo practicality. The fourth con could be infotainment. Mazda has improved, but some buyers still prefer more touchscreen-focused systems. The fifth con is resale risk. A new flagship model can be exciting, but first-year models sometimes face early issues, limited parts availability, or uncertain resale values. So who should buy or wait for the 2027 Mazda CX-100? If you love Mazda design, want a premium SUV without paying full German luxury pricing, and you are looking for something stylish, comfortable, and different, then yes, this is absolutely worth watching. If you already like the CX-90 but want more luxury, more presence, and possibly more executive comfort, the CX-100 could be the upgrade you were waiting for. It could be ideal for families, professionals, long-distance drivers, and buyers who want a luxury experience without shouting for attention. But should you buy it immediately if it launches? My honest recommendation is, do not rush into the first production batch unless Mazda offers strong warranty coverage, clear pricing, and proven powertrain reliability. Wait for early owner reviews, real fuel economy tests, third-party road tests, and dealer pricing. If the CX-100 arrives with a strong inline-six hybrid setup, excellent safety features, and a price under loaded German rivals, then it could be a very smart buy. But if Mazda pushes pricing too close to BMW, Lexus, or Mercedes without matching their luxury network and prestige, then the value argument becomes weaker. For most buyers, I would recommend waiting for the mid-level or upper-mid trim. Avoid the base model if it lacks the premium features that make this SUV special. Also avoid the fully loaded version if the price gets too close to established luxury brands. The sweet spot should be a trim with leather seats, advanced safety, premium audio, panoramic roof, strong driver assistance, 360-degree camera, and the better engine option. That is where the CX-100 could feel expensive without becoming financially unreasonable. Compared with the Mazda CX-90, the CX-100 would likely be more stylish, more luxurious, and more exclusive, but also more expensive. Compared with the Lexus RX or TX, Mazda may offer better driving feel and design emotion, but Lexus may still win on resale and hybrid reputation. Compared with the Genesis GV80, the Mazda could be less expensive to own, but Genesis may still feel more established in luxury presentation. Compared with the BMW X5, Mazda may offer better value, but BMW will likely remain stronger in performance branding. Compared with the Mercedes GLE, Mazda may offer a more rational price, but Mercedes will still dominate badge appeal. Now here is my deeper human opinion. Mazda is at a very important moment. For years, people have said Mazda is almost premium. The interiors are nice, the designs are beautiful, and the driving experience feels more expensive than the badge suggests. But almost premium is not enough forever. If Mazda wants to move upward, it needs one vehicle that proves the brand can build something truly luxurious, not just nice for the price. The CX-100 could be that vehicle. It has the potential to become Mazda's flagship identity. The SUV that tells the world Mazda is not only competing with Toyota, Honda, and Nissan, but also challenging Lexus, Genesis, Acura, an entry-level German luxury SUV. But the challenge is trust. Luxury buyers do not only buy leather and screens, they buy confidence. They buy service experience. They buy quietness, smoothness, resale value, and long-term satisfaction. Mazda must make sure the CX-100 feels polished in every detail. The doors need to close with weight. The cabin needs to stay silent at highway speed. The transmission needs to shift smoothly. The hybrid system needs to feel refined. The infotainment must be fast. The driver assistance systems must feel natural, not nervous. If Mazda gets those things right, the CX-100 could become a very serious competitor. So final verdict, should you buy it or not? If the 2027 Mazda CX-100 launches with a starting price around the low to mid $50,000 range, a powerful hybrid or turbo inline-six option, a truly premium cabin, strong safety tech, and Mazda's usual driving feel, then yes, it could be one of the smartest luxury SUV alternatives on the market. But if pricing climbs too high, or if the final model loses the bold interior and premium details shown in the concept images, then I would say look at the CX-90, Lexus TX, Genesis GV80, or even a certified pre-owned luxury SUV instead. My recommendation is to wait, watch the official specs carefully, and target the best value trim rather than the most expensive one. The CX-100 has huge potential, but it needs to prove itself in the real world. Beautiful images are exciting, but real ownership is where a vehicle earns its reputation. And that is why the 2027 Mazda CX-100 matters. It is not just another SUV rumor. It represents a bigger question. Can Mazda finally become a true luxury alternative without losing the soul that made people love the brand in the first place? If Mazda gets this right, the CX-100 could be the SUV that changes how people see the entire company. If you enjoyed this deep analysis, subscribe to The Car Analyst because we bring you future car updates, real buying advice, price breakdowns, ownership cost analysis, pros and cons, and honest recommendations before you spend your money. Tell me in the comments, would you choose the 2027 Mazda CX-100 over a Lexus, Genesis, BMW, or Mercedes? Your answer might say a lot about where the luxury SUV market is heading next.